Hello my friends! Today at the Blue studio we are going to paint together these wild roses. These type of flowers are some of my favorite ones to paint with watercolors, and in particular here I'm going to show you how to paint flowers of different sizes and also with different perspectives. I'm mainly going to use for the flowers a filbert brush, but you can use any brush you have available. My name is Luisa and this is the Blue studio. Let's start painting together. With my filbert brush in size 8, I started to mix on my color palette some Ochre rose with a little bit of transparent orange. I want to give to these wild roses a very bright color. I mainly use the side and the belly of this brush, and I start creating the main rose from the center of the flower, and so I'm creating these petals just using the shape of this brush. So I'm touching just with the belly or with the side of this brush the paper, and then I'm creating these sort of petals in different sizes and also in different color values. This means that sometimes I'm using a very concentrated amount of pigment on my brush, while some other times I'm removing part of the pigment in the cup of water and I'm creating petals that are much lighter. This is a wild rose in loose style, therefore we don't need to be too precise on the shape or on the details of this rose. What I recommend you is to start from the center and create these small petals with these brush strokes that are more or less in circular shape. When the first layer of these petals is still wet, add some more concentrated pigment. I'm adding, for example, some brilliant Ochre rose, some Quinacridone Magenta, and sometimes some transparent orange to allow these colors to blend while the first layer of the pigment is still wet. What you need to take into consideration creating this flower is to give it a round shape and also to leave some white spaces in the center, because in a second moment we are going to add a yellow center. Then I'm gonna take my round brush in size 6 from Princeton, and using just the tip of this brush and a little bit of Cobalt Green Dark, I'm creating the stems of these flowers. To give it a flow, this stem is not a straight stem down to the bottom of the page, but it goes a little bit in a diagonal way to the corner in the right side of this page. I'm using just the tip of the brush and I'm not adding too much pressure to create these stems. At this point, I create a similar mixture for the same flower, but I started to work on the second one. The second one, I want to be a flower that is turned, and so we see the back of the flower. The approach is similar though, so we start from the center of this flower and we are creating these short brush strokes with this filbert brush, and we give the sense that these are petals that we are going to see from the back. These petals are a little bit bigger compared to the petals we have created for the first flower, but we follow the same approach and all of the petals are leading to the center, the same center, as we have done for the first flower in the lower part of the page. Using the wet on wet technique, we are adding a few brush strokes of more concentrated brilliant Ochre rose or Quinacridone Magenta into the wet petals of this second flower. And at this point, since the flowers are laid onto the paper, I can take my flat brush and create a mixture of Cobalt Green Dark and Azomethine Green Yellow to start to create the leaves of this flower composition. To create these leaves, I'm using a quite concentrated amount of pigment, and I'm using mainly the side of this brush and I'm putting some pressure, and I remove the pressure when the tip of this brush is touching the paper. I remember to remove a part of the pigment in the cup of water to create different color values, and I also remember to mix different type of greens in different amounts to create leaves that have different colors. This will give to your flower composition more movement and will also create a flower composition that is nicer to look at. In order to keep the flow of this composition, I'm adding the leaves mainly in the lower part of this page. And then some leaves are created in the left part compared to the stem of these roses, while other leaves, the ones that are creating at this moment, are created on the right side of the stems, moving towards the upper part of the page. I play with the wet on wet technique, adding some cobalt green dark, while the first layer of these leaves is still wet. This darker cobalt green dark will blend with the base of these leaves. And then I use the same technique and the same approach, but using a round brush in size 6 from Princeton. This will allow me to have more definition and precision to add the dark cobalt green dark that I want to add to blend into the first layer of the leaves. You can play with the colors and you can add, for example, cobalt green dark if you have it to your leaves or any green that you have available, but you can also add, for example, some violet, some purple if you want your green leaves to take a different twisting color. If tutorials like these ones are useful for you, press like down below, and if you wanted to support me with the creation of other videos like this one, please subscribe to this channel because it really helps me to create free content for you to watch. Also, if you like to paint flowers and you would like to learn quickly how to create beautiful flower compositions, check out my course Floral Art Quick Start. You can find all the details of this course by clicking on the link in the description down below. I'm adding green leaves where I see they can balance the whole composition, and I remember also to have them in different sizes. So the leaves in the bottom part of the page are quite big, but I've created a couple of small leaves also left and right, the main central flower that I've created in first place. And then I've noticed that there is some white space in the upper left part of the page, and therefore I've decided to create in this area a few rose buds. When the stems are ready, I use just the tip of my brush and a similar color mixture to the main roses to create the buds of these roses. I create them with a very concentrated color mixture of brilliant opera rose with a bit of Quinacridone Magenta and transparent orange. With the same brush, I use some cobalt green dark to start to add first a few brush strokes into the wet leaves to allow this green to blend. I also add a mixture of Azomethine green yellow with the cobalt green dark. And then with the same cobalt green dark color, I start to create small leaves on the buds, and then I will start to create those elements that hug the buds of these roses. I use this round brush to create these leaves because the shape of this brush really helps me to create these small elements. When I add the green leaves that hug the flowers, I keep in mind to use the tip of the brush and then the belly of the brush to create the thickest part. I create these green details around all of the 3 buds that I've created. Keep in mind that if you're adding these green leaves around the red buds when the buds is still wet, you can have some red that bleeds into the green elements. So it's up to you to decide when you want to add these green elements. You might want to add them when the buds are completely dry. And at this point, with this same brush, I'm creating the leaves in the back part of the rose that we have created in the upper part of the page. I'm using mainly a concentrated amount of Cobalt Green Dark, and I'm creating these leaves in a quite round shape, a bit elongated. Since the green is not as dark or as covering as I would have liked, I mix some gouache, some green gouache, with my Cobalt Green Dark. I also add a touch of orange into the mixture to create a more covering and darker type of green. And then with this mixture, quite opaque, I redefine the shape of the leaves that I've created, and I add a few more leaves. If you don't have gouache available, you can recreate exactly the same effect just using a more concentrated amount of Cobalt Green Dark or any dark color that you have on your color palette. Remember that the amount of water needs to be quite low if you want your watercolor pigment to be more covering. I change my brush and I take my round brush in size 6 from Silver Black Velvet, and I like to use this brush in particular when I need to create layers. So that's what we are going to do now, mixing a little bit of transparent orange with Quinacridone Magenta and Brilliant Opera Rose. Basically, I am using the same colors that I have used in first place to create the base of the flowers to create more concentrated brush strokes that are the layers on the petals. I'm adding these layers where I imagine these petals to start and end, and I use sometimes the belly of my brush and sometimes the tip of my brush. I use just the tip of my brush when I want these brush strokes to be very fine. I use instead the belly of my brush when I want these brush strokes to be much thicker. I like to add this type of brush strokes through the wet on dry technique to give more definitions to my flowers. But if you like to paint your flower just with one layer and play with wet on wet technique only, remember that this is a step that you can just avoid, and you can stop at any moment and create the flower's composition that you prefer. When you are creating layers in this type, I recommend you to switch the colors that you are using and remember to create different color mixtures. This will give to your flower composition a different identity and will make your composition overall more like your own. At this point, the composition is almost ready. I've decided just to add a little bit of yellow touch in the center of these wild roses, and I'm using the same brush and just the very fine tip to create a few lines and some little dots in the center. If you are using just your watercolors, this center is going to be very, very light. If you want a center that is a little bit more predominant, remember that you can use, for example, your gouache colors to create a layer that is a little bit more opaque. And then, just to add a final touch to this composition, I'm adding a few brush strokes where I mixed a little bit of gouache and watercolor paints to give a little bit more details just to the leaves. So this is a very dark green color, a mixture of gouache and paint. If you don't have gouache available, you can always recreate the same effect just using your watercolor paints and maybe mixing with a little bit of green, some orange or red, or some colors that you have used to create the flowers, so some warm colors, in order to create a more muted and darker color. I hope this tutorial of these wild roses in watercolor was fun and easy for you to follow. Let me know in the comments below what you think, if you like this tutorial, if you painted along with me, and also let me know if there is something in particular you would like me to paint next. See you in my next video.